Okay, good morning, good evening, Mr. X's class. We're here to talk about the word dimension. Dimension, guys, dimension is a noun, and it has two meanings on our card. One is a measurement in space. For example, the height, width, or length of something. So, if you have something that's flat on a piece of paper, it's two-dimensional, it has two dimensions. But you can have three dimensions, height, width, and length. If you measure an object that exists in the world, it always has three dimensions. For example, the dimensions of the suitcase. And I didn't check these numbers. I don't know if an actual suitcase could be this size, but I just listed three numbers. Dimensions of the suitcase are 36 inches by 22 inches by 31 inches. Okay. That's each one of those is one dimension. There are three dimensions of a suitcase because it's not flat. It has three dimensions. It has three measurements. This one I think is most often used in plural because you talk about the dimensions of something. It's like how when you measure it, what size is it? You could talk about one dimension. The height is one dimension of measuring a suitcase. Second definition is more figurative. It's you're not actually physically measuring something, but a dimension is like when you look at the dimensions of an object, it's like looking at it from different sides, kind of, because like the height is one side, the width is one side, the length is another side. So in the same way, dimension can be an aspect, un aspecto, or a way of looking at or thinking about something. Like we use it a lot with a problem, with the word problem. Or situation. So we could say, there are many dimensions to the problem. Which means that it's not a simple problem, it's complicated. So like if you look at it from different perspectives or different points of view, you'll have different ideas about the problem. So, I don't know, like global warming. There are many dimensions to global warming. It has many effects, it has many causes, and it's like, well, if we try to solve it, say, oh, well, great, we want to solve global warming, let's make gasoline illegal. What would happen, right? That's impossible. If you made gasoline illegal, our society would fall apart. So it's complicated if you talk. Global warming is a problem, but right, we don't want to destroy the economy, and people argue about it a lot. And how much of a problem is it? How much is caused by people? How much is caused by other things? Right? Most scientists say that it's caused by people, but it's complicated. It's not simple. So there are many dimensions, there are many aspects to that problem or to that situation. So that's how we can use dimension in that way. This sentence over here with the definition from literature is definition 2. So it's talking about aspects. So you can have different aspects of a work of literature. A great work of literature is complicated. You can read it in different ways. So we can understand different dimensions of a work of literature by reading it in different ways. So like there are different theories about how to read books. So there are people who read, feminist theorists who read books, how women are treated. That's one dimension. You focus on that. Another dimension would be there's a dimension that's there's the theory that's like focusing on the author's intention. What did the author want? Then other people focus on the reader. So those are all different dimensions, different ways to read literature. Like they're different theories, but when you do that, you're looking at literature. Almost like imagine like a book is like an object that has different sides. So like we're reading it. We're feminist critics. We're thinking mainly about women. That's one side of the book, and then we could read it. We could be Marxist, and we could think about social class, and that's another side of the book. We could think about what the author wants. That's like another side. It's like an object, and you're going around the object, looking at different sides of it. Those are different parts of the book. Same way we talk about different aspects, different dimensions of a problem. You can say different dimensions of a work of literature. Okay, in Spanish, dimensión. And is there an accento here or not? I can't remember. I might have done it wrong. I'm not sure. But, okay. Yeah? Okay. I'm not sure. Okay. And word families, dimensional. What is the part of speech? We've seen this before, AL. What part of speech is that?
Adjective.
Adjective, yes. Adjective. Dimensional, related to the dimensions of something. And we also have multidimensional. What's that? Do you think? What is multi? It's an adjective. And what does multi mean?
Many.
Many dimensions. So like it is a multidimensional problem. It has many dimensions. And they're not on your card, but you guys have heard, I'm sure, two-dimensional and three-dimensional. Those could be word families too. Two-dimensional is flat. Three-dimensional has three ways of measuring, like an object, right? And synonyms, measurement for definition 1, and aspect or feature for definition 2. Okay, are there any questions about dimension? Okay, and remember, yeah, dimension, just like any word with S-I-O-N or T-I-O-N in English, those are always nouns. Good thing to remember. Because in Spanish sometimes they're not, so it's worth remembering. Okay? Thank you very much. Thanks for filming.